Hi everyone, let's have a look at the impulse that we had from Monday the 21st, the low, till where we are today, and then zoom into the price action, the local price action, and see what has happened. So when we look at the impulse, we can see that I classified wave 1 over here, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually we have 5 yet to finish. And then when we zoom into wave 1, I classified wave 1 over here as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then eventually getting an A, B, C as an expanded flat in the 2. And this then gives us the 1, 2. Now then we have wave 3, and what you often see in wave 3s is a very easy to count individual, like lower time frame count basically. So this is wave 2, and then we go up to wave 3 up there. But then in wave 3 we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last wave 5, by the way, for me was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually we have wave 5. Let's move that. So for me, wave 3 ended over here. And then when we look at the extensions, which you take with here, the extension tool, so the trend-based Fib extension from the low of 1 till the high of 1 to the low of 2, and then we do need to put extension on. You can see that if I move this to the right, if I move this to the right, exactly, you can see that basically the high of 3 was the 3.618 extension, which is completely valid for wave 3 because it tends to be very extended. Now the minimal target for wave 3 is the 1.618, which of course we've passed. We had a little break here at the 2.618, and then we eventually went to the 3.618. And that is also something you see quite often. Quite often with a wave 3, you see some reaction or some movement or maybe consolidation at the 0.618 level. So in this case, actually the 1.618, we went straight through, but then at the 2.618, we had a consolidation, and then at the 3.618, wave 3 was finished. Now when we look, by the way, at wave 2, before we continue with wave 4, we can see that over here, wave 2 almost hit the 618. Not exactly if you pull the Fib from the low of 1 till the high of 1. If you, however, pull the Fib to the high of wave B, you do see that we ended up in this golden pocket area, like the green area, which is the 618. Let's put the levels on. The 618 and the 66. But if you pull it to the high of 1 over here, we just missed out, and it actually went to the 0.5. As you can see, we hit the 0.5 exactly before then moving to the upside. So then eventually we had wave 4 over here, and wave 4 we go from the low of 2, take a Fib from the low of 2 to the high of 3, put the wave 4 Fibs on, and the wave 4 Fibs are the 236, the 382, and the 0.5. And you can see we basically ended up in between, not really expecting any of the levels because we went below the 236 and we stayed above the 382. You can see that the 236 had a little bit of a back test before moving down, and then eventually we crossed it again, back tested it over here. Actually, the 236 here was very well respected. So a nice back test before eventually launching into this wave 5. Where we are now. So let's look at this wave 5 and then what happened as well. So let me put the lower time frame counts on, go to the 1 hour time frame. And when we look at wave 5, I do like to notice, of course, there's different ways to calculate what the wave 5 targets might be. Now this is on a lower time frame. Of course, we have the higher time frame target over here, which is this green box from basically 27.7 till 31.1. But if we look more locally, and that's also nice about Elliott waves, like now that we have more information, we can get more concrete targets. So if we have to measure if this is an A, this is B, and this is C, we can measure the wave C target by using wave A and using the low of wave B, which I've done in a previous video. But now that we're actually working on this impulse, we can calculate the wave 5 targets more precisely and see if we have confluence with the overall target of the higher time frame as well. So that's how Elliott wave confluence basically builds up. You have different time frames, and you can use the counts of different time frames to find more precise target areas, basically. Now, in this case, we have wave 3, right? One of the ways to calculate the target of wave 5 is the 1.618 Fibonacci, which is just a fib retracement from the high of low to the low of 4, and then put on the 1.618, and you get that line. Another option, another thing you can do is to go from the low of wave 1 to the high of wave 3 to the low of wave 4 with the trend-based fib extension, and then you put on the 0.618. And the 0.618, as you can see over here, it's the top of my box. So that's another way. The 0.618 is another target. The 1.618 is a target as well. And besides that, you have the 1-to-1, but we already crossed the 1-to-1 basically. So the 1-to-1 is basically wave 1. So from the low of 1 to the high of 1 to then the low of wave 4. And then you put on the 1-to-1, but that's a white line, as you can see over here. But we already crossed it, so it's, you know, it's kind of useless in that sense. So yeah, it doesn't really add any value. So that's how I eventually came up with this Y5 target. In case you like to have it on your chart, this is how you do it. It's good practice to try it yourself as well. So I do try to make my videos at least a little bit educational while also providing you with my thoughts. Okay, so here we go. That being said, let me put on my channel and put it on log scale, because you can see now the channel is not really nicely respected, but if I put it on log scale, it fits a lot better, because the last way to calculate a wave 5 top is to actually use a channel, and you pull that channel from the low of 2 to the low of 4 to the high of wave 1. And then, well, more often than not, the channel high will eventually be the target for wave 5. So the channel high, as you can see, it runs diagonally through my wave 5 target area, which makes it very interesting. Not to forget that we do have confluence with the higher time frame target, because here the 1.38 is basically the minimum wave C target on the higher time frame, which also fits in this wave 5 target box. So it's actually quite some nice confluence. I'm looking out for that. So that being said, let's zoom in a little bit in what happened the last, well, few hours after my latest video that I uploaded. So let's go to the 15-minute over here. Now, as you can see, we did take the highs over here, and for me this currently counts as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then some sort of an A, B, C. Also here you can see it's basically like maybe a W, X, Y, some type of move, then another 3-wave up, and then an impulsive wave to the downside. Now the question is this impulsive wave to the downside already finished? I don't know. So I was thinking about maybe this impulsive wave to the downside can be some sort of a wave C, right? So this is then an A, B, C. And wave C is then a 5-wave structure. So this might be then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like an ending diagonal type of wave C. That's at least what I am looking for. And when I look at the targets, we go from the high of A to the start of A to the low of A to the high of B. We put on the target, and actually let me do this so it's quite clear that what I'm looking at. So there we go. Right, so then we have, I put on the extension tool. So targets for wave C can go all the way to the 2.618. But yeah, as you can see, the 1.618 is a very common target for a wave C. The 2.618 is more rare, and it currently hit the 2 extension over there, which is fine. And then another way to calculate wave C is to do the 1.618 reverse fib, which we didn't hit yet. So we still have a little bit of room to play in basically the area, the target area that we have. We did bounce on the daily quite nicely, which also was the golden pocket area. So again, I'll put the numbers on the screen for you guys, levels. There we go. The daily had some nice confluence with the golden pocket area, and we currently have a little bit of a bounce. The question is this bounce gonna go up, like continue upwards or not? I do think that with the current scenario that I have, and again, this is my preferred scenario, and I do have alternative scenarios, but as long as this preferred scenario is not invalidated, I don't want to really go into the alternative scenarios because I feel like I'm only going to confuse you guys. And whenever something happens and my scenario changes, you guys will be the first to notice, right? So what I currently think at the moment is if we go to the 5 minute, we have something going on of this being a wave 1, then maybe this being a 2, 3, I don't know, maybe a 4, and then a wave 5. Like I would, in this case, maybe like one more wave down. However, this looks, and I don't know, maybe quite strong. It can also be like this can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you know what I mean. But then wave 3 is quite big compared to the other waves, which can be a bit unusual. So yeah, I wouldn't mind having another wave down, to be honest. So yeah, that being said, we'll see eventually what happens. And yeah, we still have quite some, like the moment we take the low of wave 2, that's the moment when, for me, the ending diagonal is invalidated. So yeah, that being said, I wouldn't mind another wave down. I'm currently looking at least I would expect another wave down, but if we push up at the moment, I don't mind. So you know, my overall thought is still that we are in the zigzag of wave 3, the yellow wave 3 over here, which basically means this is a wave, this is then a B wave, and then we have a C wave to go. So that being said, yeah, this is what I wanted to tell you guys. The ending diagonal scenario is, in my opinion, still very much in play. And the ending diagonal is therefore this being a wave 1, 2, 3 is yet to be unfinished, 4, 5, and each subdivision in this case is a 3-wave, oh, I did the last one wrong, is a 3-wave structure. There we go. That's at least what I'm looking out for at the moment. So yeah, that being said, a little bit of a longer video, but hope you enjoyed. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to comment below the video if you enjoyed these short updates. And yeah, if I can change anything, if you have tips, tricks, whatever it is, make sure to message me in the comment section, and I'll improve my videos in time. So thanks for watching this video. Have a good evening, good morning, or a good afternoon.